And I'm gonna be honest right here, right now. I wasn't perfect. I was not perfect. And you know what, guys? Like, who cares? Like, you don't have to be perfect. I'm not saying to eat like an asshole, but you don't have to be perfect post-show. What's up, guys? As you know, I am 8 days out from my last competition, and I wanted to just do a recap of how this past week went for me. I chose to not vlog at all, so I'm just gonna kind of give you a general recap of changes I made this week and how things went, emotions, and everything I went through. But before I get into that, I wanted to mention an event that I'm gonna be part of. It's August 19th, and you guys ask me all the time, I get random messages, I should do a meetup, so I'm putting it out there on the YouTube because this is your opportunity to not only meet up with myself, but a bunch of other great YouTubers, and it's for a great cause. So it's gonna be on August 19th in Loveland, Ohio. Mark Lobliner is hosting this event, and he's trying to raise at least $50,000 towards the Semper Fi fund, and I'll put all the details or link it in the description box so you have all the information there. I also posted about it on my Instagram. You can find it on Jason's Instagram, on Mark's, but all the details will be there, and donations go to a great cause. So not only will you get to come out, work out, meet some great people, it's gonna be for a great cause. So if you guys can make it out, it'd really mean a lot to me. Please comment below if you think you may be able to make it out. Maybe some of you are local in Ohio and can stop out, that'd be great. And if you can't make it out, but you wanna be part of the cause and just make a small donation, even just $10 can help. So I'll have another link in the description box that you guys can just go there and donate if you wanna be part of it. Comment below too if you let me know if you donated, that'd be great. All right, so I'm gonna kind of recap how this past week went. After the competition, I had my epic cheat meal. I don't really think it was too cray-cray, but we went to BJ's Brew House, and if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen it on my Insta story. Had like the most amazing meal ever. And honestly, it can be kind of stressful, like choosing that perfect meal post-show, and I definitely like hit the nail on the head. And Jason even asked the guy when I ordered the Pizookie because he knew how much it meant to me. I was like stressing out, trying to choose what friggin' Pizookie I was gonna eat because we don't have a BJ's near us. Look how like glowy I get as I talk about Pizookies. Jason asked the waiter, he was like, if she doesn't just love it, she's been dieting a while, can she take it back? Can she get something else? And the guy was like, yeah, of course. So that was really cool, but it can be a little bit stressful trying to pick your post-show meal, especially because you don't want to, for me, I didn't want to go overboard. I knew it'd be like the only like cheat meal I'd have because I'd be going into the river, so I wanted to make it right, you know what I mean? So I had a bacon cheeseburger with sweet potato fries and a s'mores Pizookie, and it was heaven. It was so amazing. It was so good. So anyways, I had my cheat meal that night and hydrated back up. So I drank very little water the day of the show just to help dry out and look tighter. And so Sunday went into reverse dieting, and we started my macros higher than peak week. So Sunday she gave me macros like much higher, not much higher, probably double my carbs, which was good coming off like the competition and the free meal. It was nice to have a little bit more carbs on Sunday. I took Sunday as a rest day. I was kind of supposed to train, but we drove back from New Jersey. I was exhausted. I had a baby shower to attend on Sunday, and to me it was like I needed to listen to my body, and my body was telling me, bitch, you're tired. Like, you are tired right now. And I didn't feel like I'd be productive in the gym. Like, I'd be going to the gym just to say I went to the gym, and I'm really not all about that life. So I chose to take it as a rest day, and I'm glad I did. And then going into macros for the rest of the week, we had increased fat back up quite a bit and increased my carbs. Not a ton, but increased carbs, increased fat, and I kept the same macros all week long with I had a planned refeed on Thursday. So I went into last week kind of feeling like, all right, the week after my last show, I didn't do it perfect. I was having my nibbles, I was doing little extras, and I'm gonna do this perfect. And I'm gonna be honest right here, right now, I wasn't perfect. I was not perfect. And you know what, guys? Like, who cares? Like, you don't have to be perfect. I'm not saying to eat like an asshole, but you don't have to be perfect post-show. And the reason why I say that, to remind yourself that, is because the more you stress yourself out with, oh my God, I wasn't perfect. Oh my God, I took an extra bite. Oh my God, I went over 6 carbs today. It's unnecessary. That's what leads to the unhealthy relationship with food, that unhealthy mindset. And that's actually what can lead you to binging, is that kind of emotional, stressful response. So I'm just being very like aware of my thoughts and feelings like throughout this reverse. And this past week, like I said, I wasn't perfect. I had 2 days where I went over macros, and to be totally honest with you, one of those days that I went over macros, I ate like 3 protein bars. I had eaten all my macros for the day. I was done. I thought I was good, and I wasn't good. I was like, I'm just gonna eat a protein bar, and that was stupid, because one protein bar, if you think about it, do you ever sit down and eat a protein bar and feel like, I'm so satisfied right now, I'm so full and just nourished and feel great? Never. It's like a treat, it's like an extra, and it just wasn't enough, and I just like instantly felt this starvation within me. All right, these are the real feelings that occur post-show during a reverse when you don't have the dangling carrot. I was like, just felt so hungry and weak. It was not an emotional response to anything in my life. It wasn't like, I'm gonna freaking binge right now and no one's gonna know about it. It was like, your girl is really freaking hungry and I'm tired and depleted and I just want to have food inside me to feel full. And so that's what happened, and it's fine, and that's cool, and I told my coach about it, and it's not a big deal. Like, life goes on. So it wasn't perfect this week, but I have to say, like, mentally, I feel really good. I felt good all week. Like, even though I went over macros, I wasn't obsessed about it. It wasn't a huge deal to me. The next day, it was like, today's a new day, and I do want to track my macros, and I do want to, reverse as good as I can, and I do want to treat my body well and, like, focus more on health versus the number on the scale and how many pounds am I away from stage weight, oh my God, and just kind of think about my health and bring it back to health. And with that, my digestion has not been awesome, like throughout kind of all of my prep, if you've picked up on that at all through following me. And I attribute that mostly, for those of you that are wondering, to the fact that when I started prep, I got really sick after the Arnold and was on not one, but 2, actually 3 different types of antibiotics, because they took me off the one and put me on another, and then they put me on a second round. So I was on antibiotics for almost a month, and most people are aware at this point antibiotics are not good for your gut health. And so being on antibiotics an entire month, I think just trashed my gut microbiome. Like, I just think it really impacted me, and I didn't really have a lot of time to fix that because I went into dieting mode. So obviously, like, probiotics and things like that help, but I really do think that's part of why I struggled so much throughout this prep. And then obviously, as food gets low, you're only producing so much poop to keep it like basic, right? So anyways, had some digestion issues. And so for me, like, going through week after week of reversing, I'm focusing more on my health. Like, I want to get my gut health back in check. I want to go back to regular poop. Like, I want to have a regular schedule. I want to feel good. And I just want to feel like energetic and know that I'm putting good food into my body. And I love protein bars, but obviously putting them back into my diet this week wasn't a good idea because they don't fill me up. And my macros aren't like high enough yet where I'm like satisfied. I'm still hungry. Like, you're gonna still be hungry in a reverse period. So I got my fill of protein bars in this week, and I'm good. Now I know I need to take a little time off that and kind of work on getting in, wholesome, more whole foods, higher fiber foods to kind of regulate my stuff. So that's more of my focus, and I just kind of want to reiterate that with you guys. Maybe you're not reverse dieting, maybe you're just dieting, but I want you to remember that it really isn't about perfection. And yeah, we all like mentally maybe strive for perfection. I'm really not a perfectionist. And I set these standards for myself sometimes that are stupid and ridiculous, and I don't need to set myself to them because all it leads you to do is beat yourself up. And what good does that do? If you beat yourself up, if you do a lot of negative self-talk, usually doesn't motivate you. Usually, at least for me, it has the opposite effect, and it makes me want to continue to self-sabotage. And that's kind of the I think part of like what I fell into last post-competition, that I wasn't doing every day perfect. And because I wasn't doing every day perfect, I wanted to punish myself and self-sabotage with food, which maybe doesn't make sense to everyone. Maybe it's like, Well, if you screwed up the day and you overate, wouldn't you want to not overeat the next day, Kara? One would think. But some of us are self-sabotagers, and maybe you can understand that and that aspect of things. And that is where prep can sometimes screw with you a bit with that perfectionist type behavior. But I learned so much about myself this past year that I feel like I know that I'm not a perfectionist, and I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with every day not being perfect throughout prep and post-competition. And I'm good with that. And I've learned beating myself up does me no good. It does the opposite effect. So I've just been kind to myself this week, and I think it's really helped. I think it's really paid off. I'm not personally going to talk about pounds, how many pounds I am away from stage weight. Number one, I do a little water manipulation for stage day, so my weight is not truly an accurate weight on stage day. And also, too, I've noticed I follow a lot of other fitness Instagrammers, and so many people are competing right now, and I notice I'm a little more hyper aware of it because of that reason. Everyone's posting like, reverse is going well, I'm this many pounds away from stage weight. Like, it's almost like your current weight and how many pounds away from stage weight you are dictates how well you're doing. And I don't agree with that approach, and I don't like that approach. Now, I'm not saying, you can argue with me on this, but I'm not saying it's not good to monitor your weight and be aware of it. But what I'm saying is, don't get caught up in the obsession that you need to stay as close to stage weight as possible in order for you to be having a successful reverse. In this past few weeks, I've seen so many girls post that they're 3 to 4 weeks post-comp and they're 2 to 3 pounds above stage weight, and it's really hard for them, and they feel fluffy, and they feel fat, and I'm sitting here thinking, shit, are you for real right now? And I'm not taking away from them feeling that way, not validating how they feel, but what I'm saying is, other girls can see that and feel like if they gain more weight than that from stage weight, they're doing a bad job at the reverse, and that they should be as close to stage weight. Hopefully that makes a little sense. But I know for me, even just seeing it on Instagram, I'm like, I just don't like that. I don't think that needs to be the only measure of how successful you are in the reverse. I personally feel like, and maybe it's just due to my own personal experiences, right? Like, that's kind of where most of our opinions come from, our own personal experiences. But I think the mental aspect is bigger than that. It's bigger than your stage weight. It's bigger than how far off you are from that. And it's very individualized depending on what means you took to get to stage weight, how lean you are normally, naturally. I don't naturally sit at my stage weight of 103 pounds. Like, that's just not a natural weight for me. So I'm not going to really be sharing that kind of information because I feel like that's not the most important thing about a reverse. Keeping your head straight, keeping your mind healthy, being kind to yourself is all really, really important at this stage of the game. And I'm feeling in the best headspace ever. I felt really motivated this week. And now I'm going to talk about workouts too, because I get asked that a lot. Like, reversing isn't just the dieting aspect. It's also the exercise component too, right? So going into this week, I took Sunday off, and then I trained every other day this week. And I'll be honest, my workouts didn't feel great. I showed up, I went through workouts. I think Wednesday, I feel like I started to get my strength back, but I felt kind of weak, between traveling, between competing, between going back to work, the normal grind of everything. I was tired, and my allergies were bothering me a ton this week, so that also kind of, maybe I'm making excuses, but I felt like that really impacted my energy levels in the gym as well. But we went back to regular training, regular lifting sessions. I just kind of did like my own lifting split this past week. And cardio-wise, we did immediately drop down cardio. The HIIT sessions were dropped down, which I was like, thank God. I haven't been loving HIIT lately. Steady state, let me do that every day of the week. I'm cool with that. I've really been getting back into running, and I've been really motivated by doing my steady state cardio. So HIIT's dropped down already. That was good. So cardio's dropped down, macros went up, and feel really good with how things are going. going into week 2, my cardio has decreased again. I'm doing no HIIT sessions. I'm just going with steady state cardio, which I'm like, yes. And macros went up again. So we're going to see how this week goes. I plan to change up my lifting split and kind of do a different program for lifting, but I haven't yet focused on what my exact goals are at this stage, so I haven't changed my lifting plan just yet. I'll keep you posted on that. I just don't know what's next for me. So right now we're just going to keep lifting. We're going to keep doing the cardio as Danica prescribes me and going from there. So trying to think. I think that's everything I wanted to cover for my week 1 of reversing. I will start to do more vlogs and just kind of incorporate what's going on with the reverse process in my vlog. So let me know if there's anything specific you guys want to see or want me to discuss with the reverse and things like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this update, and hit that like button if you did, and keep checking back for more.